Hello and welcome to another installment of Airsoft Reports. Today we're going to show you the new TSD M9. Now the TSD M9 functions in most ways identically to its namesake, which of course is the Beretta M9. Its takedown function is identical actually. This is your takedown lever here, and it slides the entire slide forward and off to allow you to clean, maintain the airsoft gun. There are a fair amount of metal parts which we like. The slide, the safety hammer, the slide release, takedown lever, trigger. Actually, the entire frame is metal. The only thing that's plastic is the grip. Of course, that could be easily replaced by simply popping off the screws there. Of course, this is your magazine release, also metal. Functions well. Now, as far as the fit and finish of the gun goes, we would consider it to be average. There are a few complaints that we have in terms of the working of the gun. It looks pretty good, but I'm going to show you the barrel, the top of it. You'll notice that the finish got scraped away. Now, in fairness, that is not necessarily, I mean, that was the result of us having dropped it during gameplay and then cycled it with a little bit of sand in the slide. Now, it wasn't a lot. In fact, we didn't notice it until we started to see the scratches. The sand, just a few grits, a few grains, had lodged themselves up underneath this top sight here. In part, it's the fault of the design, which has nothing to do with the airsoft manufacturer. It's the design of the Beretta with the open slide. Any other airsoft gun, of course, would really only have the dust cover portion open. This is the entire slide which is open. So again, that's something to be aware of. Some good cleaning though, and some good lubrication can, basically take care of the problem, though the scratches remain. Though with the finish itself, it is fairly easy to scratch, so keep some hobby paint or something similar on hand for touch-up work. The plastic grips are just that. I mean, there's no tackiness or anything like that. They're pretty slippery, so be aware of that. You might want to swap those out for something that gives you a little bit more of a solid grip. The safety works well, and of course, when it's down, the trigger will move, but the hammer will not fall. It is not a decocker. For those of you familiar with the civilian M92 FS, it is not a decocker. And of course, the trigger pull, there is some play to it, and I would estimate trigger pull at not much more than 3 to 4 pounds. It's pretty light. One other thing too, although it is a double action trigger, we found that the hammer is not pulled back sufficiently in the double action mode to actually trigger the gas valve and cycle the slide. So generally speaking, if you're going to fire it, you're going to pull the hammer back manually, fire it in single action. Now the slide release also functions well. When the magazine is empty, you will see that the slide locks back. Of course, without the magazine, you're going to have to manually engage the slide release. And it does it quite accurately. If you're out, it's back, it's locked. So of course, when you want to drop the slide, you drop the release. Functioning true to form, exactly the same as on the Beretta. And this brings us to one other issue. I'd like to call it minor, and I will say it's easily fixed, but it is fairly critical. The spring that actually drives the slide back is pretty weak, and that means that you will have a slide that from time to time just basically didn't go all the way forward, which will jam the gun. It's easily fixed. You can rack the slide, drop the BBs out, no problem. You can also get a replacement spring from pretty much anywhere. I mean, anywhere you can get a spring, you can get it. We're going to show you that right now. Let's take a look at the removal of the slide.